women, married Mexican women. There are records of these marriages in American history. The Mexican women said, "You are Muslim, I am Catholic, our children will be raised Catholic." SubhanAllah. So today, if you go to Northern California, the farm community, you ask them, say, "Do you know anything about Islam?" I said, "No." But we had a man in our family, very old. Sometimes he wouldn't eat for a long time. This is Ramadan. They didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know how to explain it. He never ate pork. He never drank alcohol. So all that was left to transmit was these few memories of this old man. Are you following me? So it can happen that we could be living here, and in our own lifetime, if we don't check up on our children, that part will go away. You have stories of people coming from Syria, what is now Syria, Lebanon, in the 40s and 50s and 60s. They made organizations, they made everything for their children. Now you can barely find their descendants where they are in America because they blended right into society. So now we're being tested with an age where we have the technology, we have the ability, we have the resources, inshallah, to be the model fathers and to truly celebrate fatherhood. Because if you think about this, one of the amazing things about fathers in America is they have been tested with a lot. Fathers overseas, it was not easy, but manageable because there were so many other resources. As I said, the support system. But a father in America is, I said, one of the most challenging because sometimes a man is completely alone, driving maybe 1 hour to work one way, and stuck in traffic, working 10, 12, 15 hours, coming home, stressed, tired, right? All these difficult sacrifices that men make for our families. And we know this. That's why we're celebrating fatherhood. But we say to ourselves that look at the lessons that we have within Islam, within the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, within the life of Luqman alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, Yaqub alayhi salam, all of them, and then look to see what we can derive as lessons. How can we make this better fatherhood? How can we make it fatherhood 2.0? We're still at fatherhood 1.0. Let's get the new version of fatherhood, an improved, better version, inshallah. So what I can say in closing are 10 things that I'm seeing fathers doing in America, and I know it's working, inshallah, and I think this is what we can, inshallah, try to move towards in terms of our own lives. First and foremost, expressing love towards the mother of the children that we love. Let me repeat that. Expressing love towards the mother of the children that we love. Why? Because it can happen. It can happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says not to let our children and our wealth become a distraction for us for this dunya. It could happen that in loving my children so much, I actually am neglecting the mother who gave birth to those children. Or even worse, in being so tired for working and working and working, I actually say things with my tongue to hurt the mother that gave birth to those children. Or even worse, subhanAllah, sometimes we may raise our hands, may Allah ever prevent that from happening, raise our hands towards our wives, and yet we love the children more than she gave birth to, and neglect and abuse the very woman who, subhanAllah, sacrificed to give birth to those children. So the first reminder about fatherhood is really to express love towards the mother of those children. And why is that important? Because those children will go on to either be a mother, a wife and a mother in a family, or a husband and a father in a family. And if they always only knew drama and dysfunction, they will not know what a peaceful house will be like. Secondly, we have to love, care for, and provide for the children. That no matter how busy we are, we cannot make excuses to say that I'm so busy that I don't have time to spend with my children. We can't. In America, this is not an option. As I said, overseas it may have been an option because the children can substitute, not physically, but they can substitute with other uncles and siblings and cousins. There's always someone to show them that. In America, it can be a very lonely and difficult life. So we have to show them that love. We have the Prophet ﷺ, as I mentioned to you, came at a time when they used to bury alive their young daughters. The height of ignorance was that they would bury out of shame. And the Quran says, when the announcement came to him, the man of the birth of a daughter, his face blackened with shame. In that environment came a man, Rahmatul Alameen, whose daughter Fatima radiallahu anha, who used to come into his majalis, into his meetings, and he would rise from his position to offer her his seat, subhanAllah. The love that a father could show to a daughter was something he was modeling because he knew what the Arabs were capable of doing. And this is not just something only the Arabs. Of course, every human being, when you reach a level of ignorance, you could do that. You could abuse your own sons or daughters. But he, subhanAllah, was showing how to love, especially the girls, especially the daughters. And subhanAllah, he himself never had a father. He kissed his children, he kissed his grandchildren, even to the point that a man who came and saw him doing that, and he said, you know, subhanAllah, I have 10 children. I have 10 children, and I have never kissed one of them. I have never kissed one of them. SubhanAllah, he thought it ajib that a man who was supposed to show bravery and courage would pick up these vulnerable little beings and kiss them. And SubhanAllah, imagine the beloved of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who actually kissed his children, his grandchildren, let them play on his shoulders. We fathers have to realize that the distance between the mothers and the children is amazingly strong. They're actually connected by the umbilical cord. But we fathers have to realize that we are responsible to create that sense of connection through every action that we do. And that means to provide for them, to pay for their maintenance and their upkeep, and to give them, inshallah, the best of in this life. Number 3, to be a role model. To be a role model. Because in Surah As-Saf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لِمَا تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. To the believers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, why is it that you say that but you do not do? So the father who says, did you pray Fajr? But he doesn't pray Fajr. Did you read the Quran? He doesn't read the Quran. Be nice to your mother? He is not nice to his own wife, the mother. Be nice to your sisters and brothers? He is harsh. The children say, it doesn't make sense. He's doing things and then he asks us to do different. And the children are very good students, as you know. This Uthman Ali, mashallah, is 4 years old. SubhanAllah. Imagine every child who could, at 4 years old, learn that much. You know that they're absorbing everything. A story goes that a father was praying, you know, and a daughter, his young daughter came and started bothering him, saying something, that somebody was on the phone or the phone was ringing. He prayed. He finished. After he finished, he said, Ya God. He said, when somebody is praying, no matter what is happening, you never disturb them. That's the one time you never disturb the person. The next day, she was in the kitchen. She tried to reach for something, and the glass fell and it broke. And he said, who is that? Who did that? She realized she's in trouble. He came into the kitchen. She said, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. She started running from him. He said, come back, come back. She ran until she got into a corner. Nowhere to run. She's going to get caught. Allahu Akbar. Huh? Because what did he tell her? He said, in Salah, you can never disturb anybody. So if you're going to be upset, you're going to have to wait a long time. Because I might do a Baqarah like Uthman was going to read for us today, right? So kids learn, subhanAllah, and they pay attention. They pay attention. Even in my own life, my son Omar was only maybe 1.5 or 2 years old. And when he was born, subhanAllah, he was born after the September 11 tragedy. So he was born in June 2002. So it was a difficult time for the Muslims. I was traveling a lot. So when he was about 1.5 years, I could tell I was very busy. I was doing my PhD, just, many commitments. SubhanAllah, one day we had a long walk to the apartment with groceries and everything. He kept bothering me for the keys. The one thing they want is the keys to open the door. They can't reach anything, but they want the keys. I became upset because I had all the groceries. I took the keys and said, here, go ahead, go. I pushed him and I said, go, take the keys and go, do whatever. SubhanAllah. When we got in the house, I put the groceries down and I sat down. He came in front of me. SubhanAllah, I still remember this, and I never did anything after that again like that. He came close to me and he said, Abba, he said, please don't push me again. It was only 1.5 years, maybe 2. He was telling me that you have to be a role model, because if you say to me don't do something, then you have to not do it. You pushed me. I remember. See, I didn't think about a big deal, right? What's the big deal? I gave him the keys, I was upset. He said, no, you pushed me. Please, very nicely, please don't push me. SubhanAllah. It's an amazing way that they absorb it. Number 4,